So this is my first how-to video. I've never repaired a grill before. This one I bought at Costco about 12 to 15 years ago. It's called a Sonoma, and we use it some of the summer. We're not huge barbecuers, but anyway, this thing, I've never used the side burner before, so it's in fairly decent shape, as you can see. But when you pop open the hood and look in, the flavor shields, or flavor tents I call them, are kind of corroded. If you look down over in here, down my fingers, you can see it's actually missing a piece, and the burner assemblies below it are also damaged. So what I've done is I've gone online with Amazon, and I've purchased 2 replacement parts. The 3 tents, which I'll bring you over here and let you see, and the flavor shields are here. They come in a set of 3, and with that comes a replacement burner assembly, which has the 3 rows of burners. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you tuned in. Bye. So this is the second step. I've taken apart the top pieces, which is that flavorizer tent. You can see that that's really torn up and beat up. I've taken off the grill, which is stainless steel, and I'm just going to take those in, clean them up later. There's 3 pieces to the grill, and that'll just be cleaned up just like I should do after each time I use it. Down in here, there's the old burner assembly. So there's 1, 2, 3 burners, and then there's a connecting bar. When I ordered the kit, they didn't present this as an option to purchase as part of it. This is actually a little beat up, but since I don't have the piece, I'm going to go ahead and reassemble with this older deflecting shield here. Not exactly sure of the requirements for that. It looks like it's just protecting the burner assembly. So that's where I'm at, and the next thing I'm going to do is clean up this mess, because I don't clean up very often at all. And the underside of the grill, you can see, is just filled with grunge and gunk, and then the grease tray below it is filled with water and grease. So that's what I'm doing right now. Here's another quick look at those parts that weren't part of the repair kit. It looks like it's pretty solid stainless steel. This one I just scraped. It took less than a minute to scrape off 10 years of neglect. And here's the other one that's still really grungy. And you can see that it looks messy on top, but the stainless steel seems to be good enough that that part does not need to be replaced. So we'll see how this goes after I assemble it all. So if you take a look at this now, I cleaned it up a little bit. Before, I had years of grease and grime all in the inner part of it. The 3 burners are hanging here sort of loose, and I was trying to figure out how to get them out. On the back, they just had a couple of clips, but it's pretty long. It turns out you have to take apart this whole assembly, which is sitting initially like that. There's a total of 13 screws that have to be removed, and then you can lift that right out. And then if you look down in here, you can see where the 3 burners, my finger here, burner there, and burner there, will pop right out. So like everything else, if you do it once, it's kind of hard, and I think on the second time I'd be fairly quick and figure this out. So what I've got now is I've removed the old burner assembly, and I've set this in. I'm going to show you up in this end. This goes down on the lowest bar. So there's 1 bar here, a 2nd bar, and then this lowest bar. And those 3 tabs sit on that. And then looking at the other side, these will go into the gas nozzles. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to move those right now so I can do that and also hold it down at the same time. So there's 1 going in. This guy's not quite aligned yet. I'll probably shut off the camera and jam them in a little bit, but basically these are supposed to drop in, and then these 3 sides here will be sitting on that lowest shelf. So the concept is the gas nozzles will be inside of these pipes. So now, after turning off the camera for a minute, I went ahead and jiggled those in, and each of the 3 pipes is now, the burner pipes are seated in this gas nozzle, And then these on this side, they're laying flat, 1, 2, 3. The next thing is to put on that gas deflector. Okay, so we're back again. It's taking longer than I expected. But anyway, you take a look at the burner assembly is stuck into the gas nozzles. I've already shown you that once. And on this end here, I reused I'm going to call it a gas deflector. It basically just pushes the gas and spreads it between the 3 burners. So this is kind of beat up, and I went ahead and just, because this was a replacement part, the holes didn't align. I had to re-drill these, which was a pain in the neck. So it's taken longer, like I say, than normal, but I think I'll be pretty quick now and be wrapping this up. Okay, if you take a look here, I've just replaced, reinstalled this housing. The housing that mounts to the front of the gas burner has 3 notches cut in, and those notches allow for the housing to slide down. And it saddles the 3 burners. So now I'll put the 13 screws back in that hold that in. They're all along here, a couple on the side and 4 or 5 in the front and on the back as well. And once all that is done, it'll be reassembled. So now I've reinserted the flavor shields, the lower ones. So there's 2 lower ones, and then the 3 upper ones are going to be new. Up at this end here is normally a igniter, and I've had such bad luck with them, they fail within a few weeks, so I'm just not even putting it back in. I didn't buy new ones. So those would have been there, and there's wires back underneath here. You can see this old igniter down in here. So I've left that, and this is not 100% back to normal or back to original equipment, but I just use a propane lighter anyway to light them. So that's where I'm at with that. Now I want to put on the upper flavor shields. Okay, so the last part of this then is to actually test it. I just lit the burner, and as I said, since I don't have the igniters, I go ahead and use one of these little propane lighters. Step back so you can see that. You know, these things a buck and a half at a hardware store. And so what I went ahead is I just lit this first burner, and then you can just drop the flavor shield just down into position, and then in theory you can light the others from that one. So I'm turning that on now, and I could hear something like putting the crate back in place. I can feel the heat there, and now I'm going to light the third one. And then you can hear it light, and it just lit up. So what we've got is new burner, 3 burners, 3 new heat tents or flavor tents, retained the old ones down below that are darker, and it's working fairly well. So that's the way I did it. It took a lot longer for me than it should take because I didn't know what I was doing. The single biggest trick is right along in here. This whole front plate will come off with 13 machine screws, and I didn't know how to take it apart, which took me an hour to clean the grease off and figure out what was going on. But what you do is you take off that front plate, and then you lift that up, and then that allows you to get the burner assembly out, the 3 burner assembly. So it'll go a lot faster for you if you go to do this. So good luck with it. Again, this is the Sonoma, which was sold at Costco, and it was made by a company, I believe, in Georgia, which is now out of business. But anyway, good luck with it, and hopefully you won't have to put up with 2.5 hours. It'll take you less than an hour. Take care.